I love a buttered biscuit.
Well, you're handling that mic pretty well.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. How are you doing tonight? Oh my, oh my, oh my. We are running a little bit late tonight. That is partly my fault. So I take responsibility for being just a little too slack today. My gosh, so good to see all you fine folks. Got Christine, Gutters Pub, Teresa, Roxanne, Puddletown, Audio Coffee. Good to see you. Teresa fan. Yeah. Daniel Barry. Whew. Man. I just had some. I've been busy. Yes, I have been actually really damn busy. It's crazy. Crazy the amount of stuff that has happened in the past 24 hours that you would not expect to happen. But hey, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. We just grin, bear it, take a couple of shots, maybe a few beers, and move on. Hey, Christy, good to see you. Thank you. You think you're busy? Yeah, I'm not. I'm not really. No, I'm really not that busy. There's just a lot going on. I spent some time working in the yard today, digging and pulling things, and that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's like, but if you're gonna like get down and dirty with it, then you just get down and dirty with it. What can I say?
I love a buttered biscuit.
Of your intro, it's so awesome.
I know. I love it. It's so good.
Yes. Oh my
I
gosh.
do wish that I could wear a little skirt like that, Yeah.
I'm glad I don't. I'm sure a lot of people are glad I don't.
Wear a little
Like my
skirt like
wife.
that?
Yeah, my wife be like, "Why are you wearing that?
Why are you wearing that, Shizzy? Why are you
Why are
showing
you
everybody your
wearing
butt
that, Shizzy?
cheeks?
That's so weird."
That's weird. It's so weird.
No, my wife, she'd probably be just like, "Hey, I like that. Look at that.
Yeah,
You make
she
it
might. She
shorter."
might be like, yeah, baby.
Oh my. So how you doing tonight, Diva?
Yep, she might.
Yeah.
Like, I like that.
So how you doing tonight?
Gutters Pub, hey.
Is my stuff
I look exactly like this when I wake up.
glitching out? Is my stuff glitching out? Is it acting weird?
It might be. Mine might be the one glitching. In fact, let me step away and I'll make sure it's not me. Okay.
It's Shizzywhiznut. Oh yeah, it was Diva. If she steps away like that, she's restarting stuff. Eva looks like she just woke up. No, she definitely did not just wake up. Trust me. She is doing she was on earlier. Well, she was in the chat earlier. So I don't think that she slept any since then. And as soon as she comes back, she'll say, hey. You know she will. I'm Gillis. I'm not a girl, but I mean truth is, we never see under the desk, so he could already be wearing a skirt for all we know. No. No. It's true though. I could be, but I'm not. Just not my thing. Hey guys, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Hope I sent you an invite. Damn, I'm so bad at this stuff. No, I did. You're good. Well, I'm pretty sure that there's something interesting. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. So I had to fight with the kid for a bit there, but you know.
Speaking of picking a fight. You guys have such great intro.
Hey, what's going on,
Yes,
everybody?
See
Hey, how
y'all.
you doing?
But gee, Shizzy, I wouldn't know who's responsible for such awesome intros.
No, I'm just saying that like I do an intro for myself and I'm like, oh, that thing is horrible. Do it for somebody else, it's like, hey, that looks pretty damn good. Son of a
Yeah, I see Tom Gillis in the chat. Hot damn. Hey, what's up,
What's
brother?
going on, everybody?
Oh, so how's everybody doing this weekend? I've talked with Volstrom multiple times this weekend.
There you have.
multiple times.
Anything fun?
Yeah, it's been an interesting weekend.
Oh, lordy.
Yeah.
You know, everything was fine, and then suddenly somebody had to go and just ruin everybody's weekend.
Mm-hmm. It is a day that ends in Y.
Yeah. Which is why all of you are here, so you don't have to pay attention to that kind of stuff. We're just here to have a good time, aren't we, guys?
Yeah, fuck it. We
Yeah, we are.
We're here to have a good time.
That was the whole point of doing all this, because next week's going to be busy, and might as well have a little bit of fun and get it really started, get it fired up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And here we are. Boom. DJ Finn with her chapter 6. Well, this one was not as spicy as the last one.
The ending of chapter 5, you mean?
Right.
Yeah, the ending of chapter
Oh, dear
5.
Lord.
We kind of crescendoed on that one, didn't we?
Trust me, folks. If you didn't watch last week's stream, go back and watch it. Not just because it helps Shizzy out, but it's how can we put this, guys? Tantalizing?
Tantalizing. It's
titillating, really.
Titillating. That's a good word. That's a good word.
Well, I know I finished a couple of times. I finished a couple of times. I don't think I'm the only one.
I will not confirm nor deny.
It is a good thing I am not wearing pants.
There's some things I will not discuss on YouTube. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. All I can say is a couple people had a really nice weekend.
The opinions discussed on this program are not representative of. Okay, actually, it is representative of everybody.
No, we need your usual disclaimer, Kaiser.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's all Teresa's fault anyway. We can't even blame the chat on this one. This is all Teresa's fault. So.
All Teresa's fault. Yeah,
the following has been closed captioned for the reality impaired.
Thank you.
Yeah, Teresa Finn is the one that gave us the good old slap and tickle, not me.
Yes.
Oh, I am innocent.
Look, and if y'all are enjoying this, help her out. Go buy the book.
Yeah, go buy some books.
I think you'll want to buy the book. I'm just saying.
Yeah. If nobody has bought these books, then they don't know what they're missing because they'll get there before we do.
Yeah. After last week's show, I have a request from my wife that we have got to pick this one up. Apparently, she is intrigued.
Oh, is she?
It's definitely her genre, and I'm like, oh God, and I'm reading this now out loud. Oh boy.
Oh, that's just
hey, maybe she wants you to read it to her.
Exactly.
There you
the
go.
Elmo voice.
The Elmo voice.
Sorry.
Yes.
I say between reading certain parts as Randy Savage and certain parts as Elmo, it's a bit of an emotional whiplash.
Fantastic.
What you like when you get all tongue-tied.
Hey, they didn't all use to do it with that tongue. Oh, and Kaiser, she says you should have.
I have two emails. I have one for my channel. I have my regular email. I forgot to even check my.
You've got about 13 days left to download.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get on that. Sorry, thank you, Teresa.
Do they have a waterproof version? Yes,
a magnet paperback with bold print and easy to read letters with no big words.
Each page will be laminated for your pleasure.
Dangly parts.
All right, we'll get this thing fired off here. What in the hell was he thinking? Finn sat in a chair in front of the fire, staring into the flames, berating himself for kissing Claire. Despite his distrust of them there witches, he wanted more from her, much more. Oh, yeah. And his agitated wolf just paced around like a little chihuahua wanting to get loose, as if he just scented his mate. I don't know. That doesn't sound good, son. If you can smell it a mile away.
Oh, dear
Well, he
God.
straightened. Well, mate? No. Didn't know her. He just met her. And, well, she was, I thought that said bitch, but no, she's a witch. Besides, he didn't believe in love at first sight or even mate at first sight, although mating at first sight isn't a bad idea. He knew it had been that way for his parents, but they were both wolves, same pack. That's a little creepy. That could be like second cousin or something like that. Their love
It's like English royalty.
Yeah.
There you go.
You got to keep it in the family. The one you're with, you know.
It's the Habsburgs, yeah.
Yeah. Get a bit of a Habsburg straw going there.
Hey, can't keep it in your pants, keep it in the family. You know?
Ja, mein Hauptmann.
Their love had been strong and rare. shining an example to him and his 3 brothers. Well, heaviness crept up into Finn's body, and he thought of his parents, losing his mother, who died while protecting Finn. It sapped the life right out of his dad. Finn had only been just 4. He was a young pup who'd run away from the pack for a little romping and running in the woods surrounding their pack land. His mother had come looking for him when they had encountered the very man Finn was now hunting. His mother was shot right in front of him. She had told him to run. He'd refused at first, but she pleaded with him. Finally, he'd run, not stopping until he found his father and older brothers. They wouldn't let him go with them to find her, but he remembered them carrying her body back, covered in their shirts and coats, and the trauma of it all left him feeling a little broken inside, but just a little bit, and guilty for the rest of his life. Hearing that shower turn off and a hairdryer turn on and the bed vibrating, he'd watch the bedroom door expectantly, shaking his head. He forced himself to look away. He was acting just like a teenage pup, entering puberty. He had smelled her before she even opened the door, and oh my God, her unique combination of lavender and lemon with a mix of what is that? What is that I smell? Of desire.
Girl
He
scent.
knew what that was. He knew that scent. Smile spread across his lips as he looked back at the door.
It's like
Desire he
Bambi.
scented.
Minus the smexy parts. I'm gonna cry again.
Like Bambi?
Yeah, he's like Bambi.
Well, I was crying with laughter on that one, but we're talking about the smexy one. Yeah, get that deer.
Yeah.
Get her ass. Lead it. Oh, sorry. Maybe that's a little too dark for some people.
Well, a smile
Expect
spread.
nothing less.
A smile spread across his lips. He looked back at the door. It was desire he scented and knew what she had done in the shower. I understand that powerhead now. His suspicions were confirmed when she opened the door and looked at him. There was a nice, beautiful pink flush spread across her cheeks, and then he looked at her face. Visibly, Claire swallowed, eyes met as she pushed away from the door and she walked into the kitchen. She was grabbing a soda from the fridge, and she came back to the sofa across from him and sat down. She avoided looking at him for a moment, and the silence stretched out between them like a rubber band being pulled further and further apart. Ben glanced at the clock on the mantle. He was breaking that tension between them and saw that it was barely noon. Hopefully, she had decided not to talk to him the entire day. As well, he'd be fine with it, with just, a little bit of lip service. And Claire took one more swallow of soda and looked at him. And the weather reports are here. I figure the storm will go through tomorrow. But it should stop at least less than we can dig out the next morning. The main roads will probably be cleared by mid-afternoon. So once we get out of here, we shouldn't have any trouble getting to where we need to be. Finn nodded, relaxing back in his chair, believed that she was going to speak to him after all. Woman, do you have a map or anything so I can get my bearings? Last thing I knew, I was in Durango. Claire nodded, jumped up from the sofa, walking over to an armoire sitting against the wall next to the fireplace. She rummaged through the drawer until she pulled out a folded map and went back to the sofa, dropping to the floor in front of it. And as she opened the map, Finn sat down on the floor next to her, leaning closer. And this is where I'm going to do an impersonation of Laura Owens.
Oh, God.
Durango is here, Claire pointed to the map while she leaned over her arm. I live about 45 minutes just south of Salt Lake City, which is here. So you're about 2.5 hours or so from Durango. From there, it's about a 5 or 6 hour drive to Roswell, where my family lives. Psycho.
Hey, Shizzy, you better go take a pregnancy test.
Nope.
Spit on that thing.
I know, just a gargler.
You've been lying the whole time, damn it.
Oh,
Damn Puddle Town.
I knew that ovular pregnancy thing couldn't happen.
Wait a minute. That's a dude.
You can't fool me.
Wait a minute, that's a dude. I thought I felt something a little scratchy going against my freshly man skin.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Oh my God.
go ahead and pick it up there, guys.
Who we getting now?
Oh jeez. Oh, okay. You know, gotta save the correct ones for the real spicy parts. So, we're just gonna do something a little bit different. So, yeah, I'll be completely honest. I was laughing so hard I don't even have a voice preload. Oh my God.
Just
Okay,
go,
you know what?
man.
Yeah,
On the
let's do
fly.
it.
Let's
Okay,
go.
Okay. All right. Finn studied the map, seeing all the routes the men could have taken when they had escaped them. Clara, your cabin isn't that far from my packlands. He pointed to an area around the Powder Horn Mineral Mountain. I've been tracking shifter kills from Powdertown to Pagosa Springs and over to Durango. Maybe Corbin is somewhere in this triangle. He ran a finger from Powdertown to Pagosa Springs, over to Durango, and then to Lake City. Claire shook her head. I don't think so.
We're gonna say
why do I have to always do the parts where I'm like changing voices on a dime?
You can do it.
You can do it, man.
You can do it.
Yeah. Claire leaned over the map and traced a line from Durango to just outside of the area of Roswell. I don't know why, but I think he's closer to this area. There's a large shifter population just outside of Roswell.
Makes sense.
She looked up at him. He doesn't just go after shifters. There's a bear and a lion shifters in that area. Oh my. Oh, the bears. My friend who was killed was a lion shifter. He was probably lying around.
Oh dear Lord, that was
Oh,
corny.
goodness. You might be right. There's a large shifter population around this area, too. Maybe he's in between here and the other community. He's all about them bears, you know what I mean?
And otters.
Just a little more of an
Otters and
intonation to your
bears.
voice, it would look like you would sound like a Ukraine flag. It's so funny you're talking about bears and tigers and lying around.
I was actually going for Kronk from Emperor's New Groove, but apparently that's
close
not
enough.
I'm sitting here thinking about it. Oh dear God, yep, I do kind of have that sound. Oh Lord.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't help it.
Well, there goes. That's nightmare fuel. There we go. Awesome. Thank you for that. Okay.
You're welcome.
All right. That made sense to Finn. If Corbin was going to after more than just wolf shifters, then he might just know about the bears, oh my, who lived further into the mountains and toward the Silverton Telluride area. Claire nodded. I think he is. We just gotta figure out where. She frowned and nibbled her bottom lip, trying to remember the area outside of Roswell on her way to Durango. Something did not fit.
Not yet.
It will fit later, my friends. Yes. Sorry, it threw me off. Anyway, it's fine. I'm just laughing at it.
That's right.
That doesn't answer why those men were heading the opposite direction, New Mexico, with you. Finn leaned back, resting his hands, and looked at her for a moment. Looking into her eyes, the color of emeralds, he could see her mind working, as if she were figuring out an intricate jigsaw puzzle. The map lay before her, but she looked at him, and as she was trying to look into the soul. Okay, yeah, you keep moving, but I got. She was figuring out the intricate jigsaw puzzle. The map laid out before her, but she looked at him like she was trying to look into the soul for an answer to solving all the world's problems. Go ahead.
Okay. Something in her eyes, something seemed to shift in her eyes, and a pink blush spread across her cheeks. She cleared her throat, looking back down at the map.
Clapping them cheeks.
And clearing her throat.
Yeah.
I think I'll call my dad. He might be able to help us. And then once we dig ourselves out of here, we can decide if we'll head toward Roswell or not. I had them tracked going south to Durango. It's not that big of a leap to think they were heading to New Mexico. Definitely call your dad to see if he or anyone has noticed any strangers roaming. Around.
Wow.
Roaming. But I think we head south and not worry why those men were going the opposite way.
I used to think Volstorm turned me on. That's the sexiest goddamn dude I've heard in a long time.
I know.
I haven't started yet.
Wow.
Makes you want to just go throw on a skirt.
Look at that hairy ass. Woo!
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Talk about a bear.
Roar, baby. Yeah.
It's more like an otter.
Claire looked up, still chewing her lip nervously. Then a wide smile spread across her lips. The frown lines on her forehead smoothed out, and she sat back a little. If Finn wasn't mistaken, it seemed like no one had shown any faith in her for a long time. Or perhaps she hadn't had any faith in herself. But what she said made sense. He let his eyes roam over her for a moment, taking in the way the sweatshirt she wore did nothing to hide her curves,
Yeah.
molding over her ample breasts and falling just above her waist. Wait, her boobs are just above her waist?
Yes.
No.
No, because then they were
Sweatshirt fell.
Oh.
the
just above her
sweatshirt.
waist.
Okay, because I didn't know the boobs
I mean,
and the
it's
gravity.
It's okay if you got saggies. We're
You
fine with
know.
that.
Now I'm picturing her walking across the floor, sweeping it at the same time.
You're making it sound like a Ron White joke.
Sham wow.
Can you tie him in a knot? Can you tie him in a bow?
You want to see him? Yeah, I do. Okay, roll him back up.
Well.
With full, kissable lips, her smile was radiant and sent his heart beating a fast, steady rhythm. His wolf seemed to reach out to her again.
Oh, is that what we're calling it?
As if reaching out to its mate. He had never had his wolf act this way toward any female.
I'm going to start calling it that.
My wolf is acting funny, honey.
Acting not funny. Oh, wait, my wife's here.
The way she'd thrown herself into his arms when he finally agreed to let her join him was etched in his mind. Every curve of her body had fit against him, and the kiss, well, the first kiss had been quick, but the second one had made his world spin, taking his breath away. But it was the way she had reacted after. She'd been nervous and unsure, and it had been him wanting her like he'd wanted nothing else. Finn swallowed and leaned over, his eyes never meeting, never leaving hers. A smile tugged at his lips when she leaned closer to him, meeting him halfway. as if she could read his mind even though she said she couldn't. A small voice in his head told him to stop, but he didn't listen.
Good.
Instead, he tilted his head slightly, and his lips met hers in a soft, lingering kiss. A log on the fireplace popped.
That's
And-
not the only log that popped.
That's not the only log that's hot.
It's definitely wood popping, that's for sure.
Reminds me of a song.
Fire crackled, but it might as well have been the electricity in the air around them snapping and crackling. The kiss was innocent enough. Her soft whimper was his undoing. The heat started in his chest, moving through his arms and then through the rest of his body. He moved and she moved with him. I dip, you dip, we dip. Leaning back. Leaning back as he moved over her. Ooh, he's moving over her. Okay.
Yeah, wolf humping her leg.
Exactly.
Yeah.
His hand.
Kind of like when my dog gets all excited and I use that little squeaker thing, and he just starts humping everything.
Clark, it's best to just let him finish.
If you're
It's
a
a
pillow,
chihuahua,
your
not a
night's
pit
ruined.
bull.
Boy, we're
His
starting early
hand.
today, aren't we?
Up the back of her neck, sliding into her hair. He fisted it gently. Dear God.
Oh!
Holy shit, we're already into the fisting.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, that was 0 to 100, wasn't it?
Mm.
Well, we've left off from last time.
There's really no gentle way to do that. It's going to make your eyeballs bug out.
For those of us that have been been watching The Acolyte, it's the power of one, the power of two, the power of many.
Talk about a squeaky toy.
Yeah. Brace yourself.
His tongue swept inside her mouth. He cradled her head, careful that she didn't bump it on the floor, and let his body mold against her luscious curves.
Two for
His
two.
hand, or his other hand, moved under her hip, moving up and slipping under the sweatshirt she wore. Her skin was warm and soft, while her unique scent mixing with her arousal surrounded him. Moving his hand across her skin, he stopped just below the bra. I
Give it a
don't
little-
know why he would stop, but okay. His thumb making tiny circles on her skin. She raised one knee, letting him settle into the apex of her thighs, then wrapped her arms around him, her hands moving along the muscles of his back.
Mhm.
Finally, the need to breathe had him lifting his head, and he knew when he looked down at her that the pudding pops did not work. It wasn't with his hazel eyes, but the gold of his wolf. She looked up at him, panting softly, licking her swollen lips.
Which one?
Claire, I want
Yeah.
you. His voice was thick with desire, and he held his breath as he waited for her response.
Chapter 7.
Hit it, Yamaha.
Oh, you want me to start? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I like a
was
good
just-
break.
I was getting in the mood there.
I bet you were.
I gotta
Gotta put away the Vaseline and
grab my shifter and change gears
like-
here.
Oh, I need to zip my pants up.
Yeah.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
All right. Wow.
Put it back.
Very well. The thunderous beat of Claire's heart echoed in her ears, and her skin tingled from head to toe. His thumb was doing delicious things to her, and she ached with a longing she could ever remember feeling. No one had ever made her feel like this from just a kiss. She'd had sex before. Not a lot. Bullshit.
Right.
Read on, Rickman.
But enough to know that there was something different in the feelings and sensations Finn brought forth to wash over her.
Have you ever been to Nakatobi Plaza?
Well, Mr. Potter.
Yes. Yes. So good.
This is so good.
She
Grab your
swallowed. Go figure. Then took a breath before she nodded. I want you to, Finn. Finn's smile wasn't big, but it still caused a hitch in her throat. I'm sure it did.
That wasn't a hitch.
And to giddy up.
Wasn't no hitch. Unless it's his trailer hitch.
It has a hitch and a giddy up.
He dropped his head and captured her lips in a deep, sensual kiss that he felt clear to her toes. Whatever. He rocked his hips, and she felt his hard shaft pressing against her hip. That's not where it goes. And was
You're
sure.
a little off. You need to go back toward the center.
And was sure he could feel her heat through her sweatpants. Sweatpants? What is this? Fucking Moo Moo Monday? What the fuck?
No. Sweatpants and yoga pants are not the same thing, folks.
No.
Finn's lips moved from hers as he trailed kisses across her cheek and down her neck, nipping at the skin, leaving a trail of fire behind. Ooh, a snail trail of fire. Running his tongue across her skin, he nipped at a sensitive spot between her neck and shoulder, sending a cascade of goosebumps over her skin. She slipped her hands beneath his shirt, her fingers digging into the muscles of his back. He was hard and lean and what?
Hers.
He's hard and lean and hers. Okay. Oh,
I get it.
At least for the moment, he knew what would happen when they could dig themselves out. But she had him until then. How far do I go?
As far as you want to go.
As far as you want to go, man.
All the way, baby. All the way.
I was hoping to do another voice. Chilly air engulfed Claire when he suddenly sat up. His eyes, dark and heated, tingled in gold as he looked down at her. He grabbed the hem of her sweatshirt, and before she knew what he was doing, he'd swept it off her, tossing it aside, and stymied by the bra, then unclasped her bra, pushing each side away. Suddenly, feeling shy, she went to cover herself, but he caught her wrists and stared down at her. Wait a minute, who is this? Oh. Well, don't hide yourself from me, Claire. I plan to devour every inch of you. And I'm starting here.
You stop all right there. Oh, I did not see that coming.
Well,
Neither did she.
They started last week, so I think we'll just finish with that one. Finn caressed her full, round breast, his hands molding and reshaping them like a lump of dough or bags of sand. Then tweaked the pink-tipped peaks, licking his lips.
Somebody right.
He moved down her body until he captured one hardened nipple between his teeth. His tongue swirled around it. Then he sucked before twirling around again.
Oh my. It's getting a bit warm in here now.
Honey, I didn't know you got. Wait. Honey, I didn't know you got
me to
sunburned
keep
yesterday because you're awful damn red.
What?
I'm gonna need to re-white balance those cameras. Damn.
I don't think it's the story. I think it's Alan.
Yes.
Are you guys
Yeah,
ready?
you know, I gotta say. There's something about him.
That'll tell us these are wrong. Feels like 6.
Feels like 6 months.
I'm going to have to go back and read the messages.
Crucifix says, I'd like to think if there's one thing I could write, it's this.
You do a pretty damn good job.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it's definitely good.
Boy,
Yeah.
And it enhances our voices very well.
Oh, it does.
Feeling a little
Yes.
parched.
I feel
Well,
parched.
Mm-hmm.
There, he felt each tug of his teeth. The heat shooting like a bullet straight to her core. She didn't know if a woman could have a orgasm just by a man suckling her breasts, but
It's possible.
if she could feel a burst of pleasure as her body tightened, aching for more. Letting go of one nipple with a soft pop, Finn moved to the other, showing it as much, if not more, attention. She spread her knees, allowing him to settle against her again as she arched into the attention his mouth was giving her nipple. Finn gave one final nip, like a young pup, to her breast before he kissed down her body, shivering when he scraped his teeth along her skin, nipping and kissing down to her stomach. His tongue swirled around her belly button and getting all the lint caught between his teeth,
Ew.
Fuzzy
dipping
navel.
into it, circling around it again, making sure that the whole thing was clean. Claire had never thought the belly button was a erogenous zone because she's never cleaned it, but boy, was she
Obviously.
mistaken.
Oh God.
He slowly ran his tongue around it, and she hissed like a snake, arching her hips. She wanted him closer. She felt him chuckle against her skin before he moved his mouth even lower than her belly button. When Claire felt him stop kissing, she raised her head and watched him. A wicked grin sped across his lips, and he hooked his finger into her sweats and panties and said, I am going to taste you, Claire. I can smell you, and it's driving me crazy. I'm going to lap up every bit of your sweet honey until you scream, and then I'm going to do it again.
I'm so glad we're all
Wow.
professionals here.
Claire felt him tug.
Just lines. Just lines.
And
It's just lines.
as
Having
she
no effect.
lifted up her hips, watching her sweatpants and panties join her shirt lying on the floor, he sat back on his knees for a moment to look at her and take it all in before he tried to cover herself. She tried to cover herself, but his look had her going still, and she was on fire. This girl is on fire. The look in his eyes could only be described as hunger, and it was hot as hell, causing a tremor to ripple through her body. She had never had anyone look at her like that, or smell her like that either. Then positioned himself between her legs, spreading her knees wide to fit his broad shoulders. He ran one finger down her wet, swollen folds, gently opening her, then moved his finger up to circle and press hard against her sensitive clit. You are so Beautiful, Claire.
Can you believe all the sinning that is going on here?
It's a lot of
geez.
sin.
I'm definitely going to need another cleansing in different
Claire
ways.
lifted her head and gave him a shaky smile before she dropped back on the floor, moaning when his tongue replaced his finger. He feasted on her then, like a hungry lapdog, his tongue lapping at her wetness as it pressed and circled the man in the little boat. He felt rather than heard the low growl he made when his tongue dipped inside her like he was drinking from a bowl, swirling around, then moving back up to her man in the little boat.
I will never listen to Hungry Like the Wolf by Duran Duran the same ever again.
When that little man gets back to shore, he's not going out.
He's gonna be exhausted.
He's constantly getting swamped or something. Oh my goodness, what a weather out here!
Oh my
I ain't
goodness.
doing this again.
I didn't know it was gonna be so humid here.
I forgot my raincoat.
I need a life jacket.
God, you're so wet, Claire. Wet for me. Yeah. Claire's voice was breathing as she writhed on the floor under his expert touch. Please, Finn. Claire trembled, her fingers digging into his hair and her hips arching into him as he put one hand on her stomach to keep her still so he didn't break one of his teeth. Pleasure washed over her as her blood ran hot while liquid heat flooded Finn's tongue. Her body thrummed as she tugged at his hair. Her moans were getting louder, her breath coming, well, out of her pants. Come for me, Claire. I want to taste all of you. Or should I say it? Come for me, Claire. I want to taste all of you, okay? Finn dropped his head and lapped at her cream, just like a cat, then ran his finger through her velvet soft folds again, circling her wet, slick entrance before dipping his finger inside her. She moaned at the intrusion, then gasped as he added another finger. We're down to 2 fingers now. He hooked his fingers and found a little tiny bundle of nerves inside her while his mouth found her engorged bud again. As he thrust his fingers inside her, brushing against those nerves over and over and over, he sucked hard on the man in the little boat, trying to make sure he could not be free. Claire's cries filled the cabin, her hips thrusting up off the floor. She looked like she was having a seizure. He pushed her back down and continued to lick, suck, and F her with his fingers. She was a bundle of sensations. Her body was tightening, then exploding under his expert touch. Claire wasn't sure she could take any more when he lifted his head up and crawled up her body. She was breathing hard, feeling like she just ran a marathon, as we all have right at this point. And when she opened her eyes and looked up at him, the satisfaction on his face, along with it was dripping all over the place, made her laugh softly. You are quite pleased with yourself, aren't you, Finn? Or is it... You're quite pleased with yourself, aren't you, Finn? The grin Finn gave her was heart-stopping. I am straight, and I am... He kissed her, and then he could taste herself on his lips. I could feast on you all day, okay? You taste amazing, better than them there tater tots. Claire's cheeks warmed, and she kissed him again while tugging at his clothes. I'm lying here naked, and you still have your clothes on. I don't think it's quite fair. Okay, your turn.
Oh, you're not.
Storm.
Come on, Elmo.
Kaiser, you got it. Let it read.
The little man's like, that fucker
having
keeps
a
giving
hard
me a
time.
swirly.
He was kissing Elmo's head a minute ago, and you're just going to deny him?
Come on, Elmo. There you go, buddy. Good job.
You get in there and you tell that story.
Oh, wait. Sorry, I thought I was still muted. Okay.
A wicked light came into Finn's eyes. Finn moved quickly. He stood and watched him undress. His body was amazing. Lean, firm, and gorgeous. Almost not wanting to read this part. His chest was broad and muscled with a spattering of hair. She had never seen a true six-pack before. And she had licked her lips when she saw his hard abs, a little bit of hair that trailed lower.
Hey, Elmo signed the contract. Do your job.
I'm trying, sir. I'm trying.
Valhalla's
I'm
Mountain.
not comfortable with this. Bad touch.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. Sorry. Keeping my composure is going to be the hardest part. Trying to read this whole thing.
Claire's eyes moved over him and she heard him groan when her heated gaze found his hard erection. Oh, Jesus. Straining and reaching out to her, he leaned down and took her hand, pulling her up to him. I hate you, Shizzy. And kissed her.
Bedroom. Now, Claire. The things I want to do to you deserve to be done in bed.
Claire couldn't help but light laugh as he plucked her up like she was a feather and hauled her off to the bedroom. When they stepped into the chilly room, she snapped her fingers and the fire roared to life in the fireplace. Its heat filled the room. He turned his head to her with a raised eyebrow.
Nice trick.
Claire gave him a playful grin.
Well, it's not my only trick, just me. Trust me.
Finn growled low and tossed her onto the bed. He stood at the edge of the bed as she bounced. Her laugh, however, died slowly on her lips at his look.
What is it, Finn?
Just dawned on me. I don't have any protection, Claire.
They looked at each other for a few moments before she spoke.
I've only had sex with one man, and that was like a year ago, and I'm on the pill.
Sure. Sure
Okay,
you are.
sure.
That's what they all
Buy
say.
that one. Yeah.
Elmo thinks his contract is going to be the contract's going to be up with PBS after this. Jesus Christ. I need a new agent.
Don't make me crack the whip.
Harder, Daddy.
Teach you to read the fine print.
Oh, sorry, did I say that?
Elmo can't read.
The corner of Finn's mouth tilted up.
Only one?
Or like, only one? She nodded.
Being a shifter, I don't get STDs. Oh, boy, that's a superpower.
Claire smiled. The sexy smile.
I know.
Okay, I think we're going to have to retire Elmo now.
Oh, my God.
Poor Elmo.
I'll
Holy
move
cow.
Allstorm up there. So,
All right.
yeah.
Had to be read by a professional. Finn's skin was on fire from the way that Claire's heated eyes roamed over his body. He was impossibly hard by the time her gaze moved down his chest to his cock. Gosh, I'm getting excited. It strained toward her as if it had a mind of its own. Oh, believe me, bitch, it does. And knew where paradise lay. Her eyes met his, and a slow, seductive smile spread across her lips. You're the sexiest man I've ever been with. Claire's hoarse voice held a slight tremor, as if she found speaking difficult. Finn's look was serious, as if he fell to the bed, moving toward her. As she moved further back toward the headboard, she lay back on the pillows and he moved over her, his body covering hers. Oh gosh, I'm getting excited. He looked down at her, his expression serious. I don't know if that's a compliment or not. You've only been with one other man, so unless you've seen hundreds of naked men. He let his voice trail off as her lips twitched. Touché, Finn. Claire reached up to run her hands over his hard, muscled chest. It was all sweaty and smoldering. Oh, I'm sorry.
I knew Cartman was full of shit.
I'm not gay.
She pulled his head down until she brushed her lips over his. I need you. Finn's breath hitched at her throaty confession. He'd never been with a woman like Claire before. Curious and bold, yet still shy and tentative when she touched him. I would be too, bitch. He captured her lips in a deep, sensual, wet kiss, devouring her whole mouth as his tongue swept past her lips to brush up against hers. He swallowed her whimper before moving her lips to nip and kiss all the way down her jaw to her neck. Her skin was silky soft as it heated from his touch. He scraped his teeth along the delicate skin of her neck as the wolf stirred. Oh, I bet it did. The word mate echoed in his mind again, and he pushed both the word and his wolf aside. His wolf wanted to claim Claire right then and there, and I took his willpower to push the animal down. Must be a hell of a hog.
Richard Simmons would be proud.
This was not R.I.P. Richard Simmons, by the way. This was not a mating. This was sex. It was that simple. But even as he thought the words, he wondered briefly if he was trying to convince his wolf or himself. Finn lifted his head and looked down at her, her lips swollen and her eyes heavy and heated. Brushing his lips over hers, he leaned down to whisper hoarsely in her ear, "Open for me, Claire."
Oh, boy.
Wow.
She trembled at the voice in her ear, and she opened her knees wider. How wide is this bitch?
I don't know. By this time, I think they're touching.
By this
each other
time,
on
I
the
figure,
backside.
she's ready to give birth. I mean, Jesus.
She's going to have one foot in the East Coast, one on the West Coast by the time this is done. Jesus.
And her ass right in the heartland. Allowing him to settle between her silky thighs, his hard member pressed at her entrance, and she rocked her hips against him, letting just the tip slide in.
I don't need the tip.
Nice and slow, baby. Just let your body adjust to me.
Wait, wrong one. Nice and slow.
That sounded good.
I thought it was clear. Edit. Let's cut that one. Edit. Nice and slow, baby. Let your body adjust to me. Claire caught her bottom lip between her teeth and nodded. He could feel her heart beating hard when it's not his heart against her chest, and her muscles were so tense. He rocked his hips, slipping a little further into the tight sheath, letting her body stretch and adjust to his girth. Oh my goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm starting to have the vapors.
I may not touch bottom, but I will stretch out the edges.
It's the cutest little thing you've ever seen.
It's like a cheese wheel. Don't be afraid.
Finn raised up on his arms. Finn raised up on his arms and thrust again. Their collective moans filling the room as he slid the rest of the way in. God, baby, you're so tight. I'm not sure how long I can last.
Oh my.
The words sounded tortured even to his ears. He moved, pulling out and slowly thrusting back inside of her. Claire's hands moved up from his arms, her fingers digging into his muscles, urging him on. Please, Finn, I need it really, really bad. He kissed her, then lifted his head. I know you need, baby. He slid out again, but this time he thrust hard and fast, filling her completely. Her moan was loud. I bet it was. And she arched her body to meet his next thrust. Soon he set up a steady rhythm, alternating between hard and slow.
Oh, it's like
going as, and he was going as deep as he could. Claire arched her body, rocking her hips against him, meeting him thrust for thrust. Dear, I might have to take a break soon. He ground his pelvis against her will with each thrust, pressing and rubbing against her already sensitive, swollen man, the canoe. He angled his hips when he slid into so that his hard member rubbed against her tiny little bundle of nerves inside. That's imaginary, by the way.
I've been there multiple times.
It ain't real. It ain't real.
That's just lies.
It's a lie.
You know, you missed a perfectly good opportunity for a great big.
Bitch, I didn't miss anything. Anyway, the combination had her rushing toward the edge of an abyss where she couldn't remember ever being near. Okay. Finn felt her muscles tighten, her body squeezing him. He started moving faster, pulling out and slamming into her harder and faster each time. He loved the little noises she was making each time he hit her imaginary place. The mewing noises she made when he rocked his hips so he rubbed against her man, the canoe. No, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing, Shiz. Come on. He had a momentary thought he'd found home. I can show you home, big boy. Let me tell you.
Honey, the cats are in heat again. They're right
story
outside
about-
the window.
I have a funny story about that, by the way.
Yeah.
The place where he belonged before her fingers dug into his arms and she cried out his name as her body exploded around him.
Oh crap! That's gonna leave a mess.
Oh, yeah.
Was it good for you?
Claire's orgasm triggered his, and he thrust one more time, sliding in so far into her that he was certain he had touched her heart. Oh my!
Wow.
That's
now
a hell of a
bottoming
wolf.
out.
That's
Yeah.
a full-grown wolf. Let me tell you.
Does that hurt?
Ooh, baby.
Did that hurt? Did you feel that in your throat?
I think I
She
went a
felt
little
it in
far
her
on that
uvula.
one.
She was choking.
Yeah.
She was choking. Then threw his head back and roared out his own release. He continued to rock into her until he was spent, then collapsed on top of her. Resting his head against her forehead, they both took a moment, their bodies trembling, riding out the tiny explosions that were still washing over them, slowly coming back down to earth. I need to take a moment. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, I think that's it for this week.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I probably got demonetized a little while back. It's totally worth it.
No, I would have never imagined.
Maybe. Ben
Holy
opened his eyes and lifted his head to look down at her until she opened her own eyes. They both smiled. Then she laughed softly. Wow.
Oh, that was genuine. Oh, yeah. You're so big.
Wow. More like, wow.
Well, I mean, it reached out to her heart. What do you expect? It's huge.
And Finn's laying there crying. Was he good for you?
And she's just like, Bueller.
Oh, yes. You're the best I've ever had. I waited a whole year for this shit.
Counting the popcorn on the ceiling.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
This got me
Lordy.
flustered a little bit. I don't think I can do a voice. I'm just going to read it
Oh,
like
yes, you
yeah.
can, darling.
Oh,
Yes, you
there you
can.
go.
I don't know.
Mm.
You can do breathless.
Well, yeah. Wow is right, Finn thought. He'd never experienced something so simple that rocked his entire world. No woman had felt like Claire did as she held him. His body nestled against hers as if they'd been made for each other. His wolf stirred again. Damn, son. It's good recovery time.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I know. Usually I'm like, give me 20 minutes.
You give me some time here. Come on.
Gatorade.
Hey, it don't
I
work
need
like
that
it
IV. Where's that
Hey.
saline IV?
It don't work like it used to. Come on.
Jesus, woman, give me 5 minutes. God damn, I gotta get it back up and going.
5.
No, I'm just kidding.
Like something that exciting. Give me a couple of weeks. Jeez.
His wolf stirred again, but he pushed him back down. He didn't want to ruin the moment by overthinking it. He pulled out of her and rolled to her side, pulling her close and tucking her curves against his body. They lay in silence for a moment, both lost in their thoughts as Claire lay her hand on his chest, making little circles in the soft hair with her fingers.
So, Devin, I got to go. I'll see y'all later. Bye. Peace.
Get while the
I
game's good.
hope it was all worth getting demonetized. Do I need to share the royalties with Shizzy?
Yes.
Only if people are buying your book. Lots of her books.
When they turn it into a movie,
Yeah.
yeah, don't
Hey,
forget the little
hey,
people.
there you go.
Teresa, when this becomes your audio book version, yeah, we want to get paid.
Oh yeah. Oh, the cutting and editing she would have to do for this one.
Oh shit, yeah.
Oh yeah. You're gonna have to go back and do whole like re-edits of things. Like, oh yeah.
Now, can you get Kaiser to read this again?
Kaiser do Elmo through the whole book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Elmo's hot sex scenes.
Hot, sexy
I need more
Elmo.
emotion from Elmo.
I'll say
Claire
it.
sat up, shielding her eyes from the bright sun shining through her bedroom window. Squinting as she looked outside, she saw that it had finally stopped snowing. Her heart gave a little twist. A part of her was sad. She'd had almost 2 full days, sex filled with Finn, and it was not nearly enough. Would he want to see her again after they caught Corbin? Yesterday had been the best of her life. Finn had been demanding in bed, but fun and oh, so very attentive.
Shit, I need a cigarette.
I'm sitting there thinking, God, I got the sins downstairs. I need to go
I'm
grab
just sort of
one.
going.
She looked beside her, where he slept peacefully, reaching out to brush his hair off his forehead. His eyes fluttered open, and she smiled. Good morning.
Good morning indeed.
Good morning.
Good morning indeed, Claire.
Finn grunted and moved closer to her, wrapping his arm around her waist and laying his head on her lap. Laughing, she slowly brushed her fingers through his hair. You're not much of a morning person, are you? Nope. Unless I have a sexy as hell redhead sleeping next to me.
God, I know the feeling.
But then I get grumpy again when she's trying to sneak out of bed and leave me alone.
Again.
Claire laughed when he tugged her down to him, kissing her. He tightened his hold on her and rolled onto his back until she was straddling him.
Oh.
Round 2, fight.
You're gorgeous in the mornings.
A soft flush crept across Claire's cheeks as she shook her head, leaning down to kiss him. I know differently, but thank you. She kissed him and then raised her head. It stopped snowing during the night and the sun is out. I think we should get up and dig ourselves out so we can get going. There you go, Yamaha. Have fun.
Thanks.
I'm gonna go get some water.
Yeah.
I need some water too.
Yeah.
Yamaha just needs his
Wow.
friend Andy.
Oh, give me like just a couple of minutes. I'm going to grab some water because
You want me to just let this sit here and stew? Is that what you're telling
Yes,
me?
let it sit here and stew for a little bit.
So you can decide which voice you want to use, Yamaha.
Yes, yes. Be right back.
Oh, while he's grabbing water, I'm going to run and grab my Zins. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Wow.
Ruh-roh. I guess it's just me and you, brother.
Interesting. So what's been going on, man?
I don't know. You know, like I said, I thought we were reading a novel. Instead, we're reading the Penthouse Forum.
I know. Yeah. Teresa has done very well with this.
Teresa, have you written in other genres, say erotica, by any chance? You're pretty good at this.
I have moaned gutters. Have you not heard me? There you go.
Just moan. She said, maybe.
That's what you get. Interesting.
Grab water is code for parking in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Notice how all three of them ran off.
I know. Yeah. Huh.
Uh-huh.
Well, hey, you know.
I mean, you and I are still here. You know, that's all that matters.
Doesn't matter how she gets her motor going for you.
Two awesome dogs. While storing indeed need about 20 to 30 minutes. Boy, you give me a lot of credit.
Yeah.
20 to 30. David's laughing in the background.
Did my story break everyone? I think it did. I think this is a testament to endurance and.
Teresa, you've done a hell of a job. In order to be, we have never had this many people go off.
Ever. I just had to get some water.
Sure,
to
legit
control dehydration.
No, she legit did because I saw her go to the kitchen.
and my salad because you know this is the perfect thing.
Get your salad tossed.
Yeah, get your salad tossed.
That's different.
Yeah, we haven't exactly had any story like that, so it's a switch. Very well.
You're welcome.
She bows. Thank you.
All right, Yamaha, hit it.
All right, let's see here. Are we doing any other voice? Oh, okay.
Come on.
You got it.
Finn growled lowly and cupped the back of her neck, pulling down for another kiss. He nipped her bottom lip until she parted her lips, allowing him to delve in. His tongue swept into her hungry mouth, gliding across hair and tongue. The kiss itself was warm and wet, causing Claire to sigh softly, relaxing on top of him. His hand moved down her back and over her bare ass, as she became acutely aware of how hard he was getting beneath her.
Aiming for the belly button again.
Well, Finn suddenly rolled down over until she was looking up at him. With a thrust of his hips, He sank into the warm, slick cliff between her legs. I can't read so good. Her body clamped around him.
Was the Kegel's yacht?
While he started moving in long, slow thrusts, almost pulling out, then burying himself deeper once more. Motor's not working. They had made
Steven, they can't hear you laughing, but I can.
I know. On and off since yesterday afternoon. And then every time seemed different to her. You had not done that boy. But the way he was moving, his pelvis pressing against swollen bud, was per torture. And yet she was loving every moment.
I'll put some mustard on that biscuit.
Yeah. Well, it didn't take long for Claire could feel the similar tightening of her muscles, the quivering of her stomach, and every never-ending firing at once. This time, instead of the explosive release she'd had before, this one was slow, washing over her in slow waves of ecstasy. Then she felt him stiffen, a low primal growl echoing in his chest as he joined her in orgasm. What, can this guy do nothing on his own? Finn lay his head on her forehead, a smile playing on his lips. Then he kissed her, lifting his head. He slid out of her, rolled over, sat up and said, "Make me a sandwich!" Looking at her over his shoulder. Get up, woman! We're burning daylight! Die Kaiser! Claire. He gets excited when he's emotional. Claire laughed and then raced him to the bathroom. I swear, you know, I don't know what you got left in it. After a brief struggle, playful struggle for power, they decided to take a shower together. Oh, because that always works out. The first time they'd done this, they had run out of hot water and where there was something in the shampoo. And had finished on the bathroom floor. And this time, however, they showered, dried off, and got dressed without another round of sex. Well, it's about time.
Good God, are they bunnies? I mean,
Good Lord.
Yes.
Yeah. While Claire made breakfast, Finn went out to her garage and started the snowblower. She told him she had. He'd been so cute when she smiled and rubbed his hands together, making her laugh as he headed outside. When she heard the snowblower going, she was mixing the batter for pancakes. Pancake batter.
The batter for pancakes?
Is that what we call it now?
A lot of extra batter. Smelling the coffee that he made before he'd gone outside, declaring that she was not allowed to make any more coffee for him. Finishing the pancakes, Claire put them in the oven to keep them warm, then packed her bag. She wouldn't need much since eventually they'd be heading to her hometown. But the time she packed and brought the bag out of the bedroom, Finn was walking through the door, stomping his feet to get all the snow off them. Wait a minute, where am I? Oh, all set to go? Claire nodded and walked into the kitchen to take the pancakes out, while Andy stood in the doorway, just watching. Did the Jeep start okay? Without an issue. Very nice, by the way. I love Rubicons. Then sat down and Claire smiled as she set some pancakes in front of him. I inherited some money. Oh, no, wrong voice. I inherited some money when my grandmother passed away. It's how I bought this place and the Jeep. then shoveled a fork of pancakes into his mouth. Well, can I drive it? Claire laughed and shook her head. Don't eat with your mouth full. And no one drives Fred but me. His stick shift compares to no one. He's very persnickety and only responds well to a woman's touch.
Boy,
Finn's eyes heated as he looked at her. But I know how he feels. Claire laughed nervously and shook her head, her cheeks growing pink again. And then Andy turned around and left. My friend Andy. Andy Dufresne.
Yes! Oh my god. I love
So
that
good.
voice.
So good.
Oh my god. Oh boy.
I think I'm spent.
Well, they finished their breakfast and Ben helped close Claire. Oh, I read that wrong. I thought it said, "Oh, if Finn help Finn close her up." Nope, help Claire close up her cabin before. I'm sure he did before heading to the Jeep. The lane that led her cabin led from her cabin to the main road was snow packed. What Claire had seen was she knew as long as the snow wasn't over the tires completely, Fred would make it through. They strapped in and she took off, slowly pushing her way through the snow. And there were several spots that they got a little stuck in, but it didn't take long them to finally hit the main highway. And like she predicted, well, damn, it was clear.
So are we going to Durango?
I turned and confirmed with Flynn as he looked up and down the highway.
I think it's the best place to start, don't you?
Well, Claire nodded and turned south, reaching out to turn on the radio, and Luke Byron's voice filled the Jeep, pulling out her cell phone out of her pocket. Well, she handed it to him, and what did she say? Oh,
we should have service anytime.
Ben looked over at her, taking the phone, and smiled before turning back and looking ahead at the road. And
there's a small gas station at the country store in Creed, which is a horrible band about an hour away. I'll stop there for gas and something to drink. I'm sure we'll have service there. I always have in the past.
Well, Finn nodded and leaned his head back against the headrest and looked out the window. Claire glanced his way several times, thinking again how strange it was for her not to know that he was what he was thinking. It was disconcerting, but no, there were other ways it was quite wonderful. She wondered if this is what it felt like to be a woman, or normal. Like she was in a normal relationship and she had to guess what her boyfriend was thinking. Most women do, but they never get it right. Because we're usually, if you ask us what we're thinking, it's usually we're not. We're just existing. Of course, Finn wasn't her boyfriend, but she still had the urge to give him a sappy smile and pick the pubic hair out of her teeth and ask him what was rolling around in his head. Well, Claire couldn't help but laugh at that as she pressed down on the accelerator. Looking down at the speedometer, well, she grinned. She'd broken over 35 miles an hour. Maybe she should have told him that she never drove the speed limit, obviously. She glanced over at Finn as he watched the road in front of him and thought, nah, leave that as a surprise. Make him wonder whenever we're doing 90 down the road. An hour later, the time filled with a long discussion about music, where she learned that, like her, he was a big fan of country music, but loved other music, including her favorite,
Maroon 5.
The tiny country store came into view. She pulled alongside the lone gas pump, and they both got out of the Jeep. Reaching for the pump handle at the same time, Claire smiled and said, "Here, let me grab the other pump."
No
What?
boy.
Let me try to not go inside. Ben reached out and brushed his fingers across her cheek and then kissed her forehead, smacked her ass, grabbed her titties, and said, "Get on. I'm not going to push you, Claire, but if you say no, it's okay. But it's your idea of being in our ears, so to speak. Maybe start out small. They're just taking the whole thing. I think there are only like 2 people in there, and you can build from there." Claire looked at the store, and Finn was right. There were only 2 men inside. She looked back at him and let out a breath. "I hear banjos." She didn't know she'd been holding and nodded.
You're right.
Stepping away from the pump, she pointed at it.
Youth premium, please, and fill it up. I'll pay inside.
Gave her a warm smile, and she headed towards the door. She was shaking by the time she walked the short distance to the door because her legs were trembling because she didn't eat enough pancakes. She left them in the oven. When she stepped inside, the 2 men stopped talking, and they looked at her. And first, she heard nothing, so she cleared her throat. And
Hi, he's gonna fill up the Jeep.
the man behind the counter nodded and released the pump. As Claire headed to the soda cases, the first thoughts drifted towards her. One of the men thought she was prettier than his wife, while the other was wondering how his daughter was doing in Denver. They resumed their conversation. Their thoughts turned to neutral things like what fresh pie they could have for lunch and if the Colorado Rockies would go all the way like she did this morning. Time she got the 2 of them something to drink, some snacks, paid for gas. He'd stopped shaking and was smiling. She walked out the store. She slid into the driver's seat. Ben looked at her expectantly, but she only grinned as she farted. Oh, started Fred. Sorry. My bad. Hillbilly threesome.
Sorry about that. Oh, God.
Well, it did say she smiled as she. That would be typical. That would be something my wife would do. She'd look over at me, give me a big grin. Guess
Got a
what?
little dribble going down the side there.
I locked the window so you can't roll them down.
I got bubbles and I'm not underwater.
God, I thought that was Diva laughing for a second.
No, not me this time. Not me.
I'm crying over here.
Somebody call 911 for Kaiser. Jesus.
Oh. Oh, Lordy.
Oh, man. Oh. I've used up all my shop towels.
Had to buy some new ones.
Oh my gosh.
Literally.
Oh. Oh, that was funny. Oh.
Oh. Yeah.
It's your turn, Kaiser.
Randy?
Oh, God. Here we go again. All right. I knew you guys were going to make me laugh like that and then expect me to just jump right into reading it again.
It's called professionalism.
Damn.
At this point, if I just, keel over from laughing that hard, just let me die.
Just let me go.
Yeah.
Anywho. Don't worry, those 2 know nothing about... Wait, is that her or him? No, okay, it's her. Sorry. All right, I had to get my character straight.
Don't worry, those two don't know nothing about Corbin. They are, however, worried about what the Rockies are going to make the playoffs this year, and if the diner down the street is serving apple pie.
About cherry pie.
She's my cherry pie.
Smile on your face. 10 miles. Anyway.
Then grinned, then laughed as he reached over to cup the back of her neck. Oh, yeah. Pulling her close, he brushed a light kiss over her lips.
For the record, I think the Rockies will make it. And no one makes apple pie like my grandma did. Now let's get going.
Claire laughed as she pulled away from the gas pump.
Was there cell phone service?
There was. And I was able to call my brother to let him know I was okay. Sorry, it's turning on a dime again.
She glanced at him and saw a tightening of his mouth before he looked out the window.
What is it, Finn?
Finn looked back at her, letting out a breath.
You were right. My brother was able to get some information to confirm that Corbin could either be heading to or already close to Roswell. Should I just go ahead and continue on?
Chapter 10.
Yeah.
All right, chapter 10. Finn saw Claire's hands tighten on the steering wheel, kind of like his shaft earlier. Oh, yeah. Anyway, her knuckles going white. He reached over and brushed her hair aside and pulled her to him slightly as he leaned over and kissed her temple.
It'll be okay, Claire. When we get there. We'll stop in Durango. Is there someone I could call and warn?
Claire nodded but stayed silent as he straightened in his seat. Turning his head to look out the window, his gut wrenched at the thought of anyone else he cared about getting hurt by Corbin. He looked over and looked back at Claire, watching the way the light bounced off her auburn tresses, and slowly let out a breath. He cared about Claire. The day or so they spent locked in each other's arms, it convinced him of that.
Mm-hmm. Sure enough.
Yes, indeed, too.
If that didn't, then his wolf would have. Oh, yeah. He'd come to the conclusion last night as he lay watching her sleep that his wolf was right. She was his mate.
Well, that was quick.
There was no mistaking the chemistry and pull to each other. Yes, it was quick, but his wolf had seemed to know almost right away. It had been the man that hadn't been convinced.
Okay, I had to read that twice. Brain.
But that's what happens when the wolf pack mocks a turtle, you know.
Let's not get into some Jack Murphy territory, please. Let's not.
You know, there's a toilet right there. Why do you make me stand in the shower while you pee on me? I don't understand this. Is this some weird kind of thing that you got that you don't know how to use the toilet? Bad boy. Get a paper and beat him with it.
She turned and looked at him, her face relaxing a little, but eyes were filled with emotions.
I know it'll be okay. I'll get a hold of my dad when we get to Durango. He'll mobilize.
Which I cannot keep track of who, is
That's her.
speaking.
That's her. You got her.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm having serious dyslexia today. I don't know why.
Well, all the blood rushed out of your head.
Yeah, the blood's gone elsewhere, and you know.
Check.
Damn those red blood cells.
Finn raised an eyebrow, and she laughed softly, turning back to the road.
Yeah, Roswell's. I can't do it.
It's her.
Okay, yeah. I can't keep track. My God, jeez, Christ.
Roswell's the area my folks live in. It's like like a family. We protect each other and have each other's backs. If even one person is threatened, everyone else is threatened. And take my word for it, we'll come out and enforce and kick your ass.
He laughed and shook his head. He couldn't wait to get there and to see the town in action for himself.
Yeah, my pack is the same way. Threaten one of us, you threaten all of us.
Claire nodded.
It's how it should be.
He agreed, and they fell silent, Fred eating up the miles to Durango. Finn sat back and went over everything he had learned before he walked into the trip. He didn't want to spend much time in Durango. Only long enough to see if his would-be captors were back in town. He wouldn't tell Claire, but he was afraid for her hometown. If Corbin happened to get there, catching them off guard, it could be disastrous. He was glad his brother was heading there as well, and hopefully they could get there in time. They pulled into Durango just after lunch, and Finn and Claire drove.
Okay, I can't read what sometimes.
Just giving you a hard
Distracting
time.
me. No. Okay. Okay, somebody take over. I'm done. I can't.
All right, where am I?
I can't.
They pulled into Durango.
Where am I at?
Yeah, there you go.
Hit it, Volstorm.
I gotta summon the spirit, y'all.
Oh my! I need a soul cleansing.
Hallelujah.
I need a cleansing. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Get some of that holy water. They pulled into Durango just after lunch, probably some fried chicken. And Finn had Claire drive to the Siesta Motel on Main Street, more like the Sinning Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
He had been staying there when he had been taken in hope that this stuff was still there. He prepared the room for a week and only stayed one night.
Sinning by the hour.
Since he had, that's right, sinning by the hour, Brother Yamaha. Since he hadn't been gone the whole week, there shouldn't be any problems. He had hoped. She pulled into the parking lot and up to the office, letting Finn jump out like the troglodyte that he is. He did a quick jog inside and then came out a few minutes later with a key card, slipping back into the Jeep. I'm on the end. Room 21. Claire drove to the room in part next to a black motorcycle, probably owned by Yamaha biker.
Yeah, he in there sinning.
Looking at Finn, she saw him smile as she turned the Jeep off. Yours, I take it? His smile widened, and he nodded.
2016 Harley Davidson Fat Boy. I love that bag. I can't believe it's still here. The days got the jump on me. They were staying here at the same hotel, so when I was on foot, when I found their room, but I'm surprised no one tried to mess with it.
Damn it, I got my characters back.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's fine.
See, it's the same exact thing. Probably.
God, just knock my pay. Getting out of the Jeep of sin, Finn walked to his bike and ran his hand over the leather seat as if it were a lover. Claire shook her head in jealousy and pulled her bag out of the Jeep, walking up to him.
Come on, badass. Let's go to your room.
He
While spitting at the
grinned and
bike.
took. That's right. He grinned. He'll treat her. That bike will treat him better than you ever will, bitch.
He could ride that bike all
He
day.
can ride that bike all day and all night. He grinned and took Claire's bag from her, then walked to the door and put his key card in the slot. Opening the door, Finn grimaced. He told housekeeping not to clean his room unless he asked. So the bed was unmade and things were in a bit of disarray from the day he left. Lord knows you don't run a black light over it. He looked over at Claire, setting his eyes roaming around the room, and then to him, he shrugged. I left in a hurry that morning. She laughed and moved to him, wrapping her arms around his neck and giving him a kiss of sin, of Satan, of the worst possible thing on earth.
You raise me up.
Sing it, Brother Yamaha. It's okay. I don't always make my bed either. He knew she was teasing. Damn it. He knew she was teasing him and held her tight against him. Don't get cheeky with me, witch. I might have to turn you over my knee and spank you. Claire's eyebrow rose and her lips twitched.
Oh, really? You want to spank me?
Oh boy, this is getting good again.
Finn growled low in his chest. I said it was low. I said it was low. I said it was down in his chest from deep inside, close to his loins.
Low, get low.
As he turned, he held her, then walked her backwards until the back of her knees that should be on the ground, praying to Jesus for her life. Yet her knees on the bed. They went down together, Finn covering her with his body as his lips crushed hers. He pressed his hips into her so she could feel just how angry that wolf was. I mean, how much that thought excited him. Lifted his head. He looked down at...
Get that discipline.
He looked down at her with heated eyes rimmed in the yellow of wolf's eyes. You are lucky we have something to do where I tie you to this bed and show you just how much I want to spank you.
Ooh.
She brushed her fingers through his hair as every nerve in her body felt like they were firing.
Well, when we're done, if you want to stick around a little longer, then we can go back to my cabin and I'll let you come here.
Her words caught him off guard slightly, and he raised up. Claire,
I bet he did.
I want to stick around. These last couple of days have been the best I've ever had. Save getting shot, of course. I'd like to stick it to you. I mean, around. And she didn't let him finish. No, sir. And his head down until their lips met. She whispered against them.
Yes, I want to stick around, Finn.
He smiled as he kissed her, then reluctantly rolled off of her and stood holding his hand to his... Wait a minute. To help her stand up. That was disappointing.
You just gave her the baby arm.
Well, at least something else was erect.
Just grab a hold of the baby arm, and I'll pull you up.
Let go of the apple. Let go of the apple. All right, my little witch. We need to get started. I think we start at the bar where I get most of my information and my hose. and go from there. Claire agreed as they headed out, driving the short distance to the bar. She sat in the Jeep, staring at the door, chewing her bottom lip nervously. Finn reached out and tucked her auburn hair behind her ear. Listen, Claire, you don't have.
I'm going in. I just need to prepare myself.
He reached out and brushed his fingers through her hair. Shit. And she turned, giving him a tentative smile. I haven't been around people like this in a long time. Finn nodded and hopped out of the vehicle, running around and opened her door, helping her out. He took her hand and squeezed it. He didn't gently touch it. He didn't caress it. He squeezed it is what he did.
What do you do? What is going on? Oh, yeah.
He went to the tavern and waited as Claire took a deep breath and stepped inside. She could smell sinning and bad decisions all over the place. Letting
the regret.
Just to the darkness of the bar. The place was not crowded, but the voices were loud, kind of like mine. And he looked around to see if he saw any familiar faces. Probably because he didn't want his side piece to see who he was with. He practically lived there before he found the poachers, but he didn't see anyone he recognized. It was still early, so maybe not all the regulars were around yet. Can I get an amen?
Amen. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Finn laid his hand on Claire's elbow and guided her through the tables, his eyes going to her face to see how she was handling everything. Her shoulders were stiff and her lips were pressed tight, and he hadn't missed the slight trembling of her body. I bet he didn't. His brave witch was suffering, and yet she pushed through it. He found a table sitting in a corner where they could see people coming into the bar and able to see everything else. A waitress came over, and he caught Claire. He caught Claire. Claire.
He caught Claire.
He caught Claire glaring at the woman before he ordered them both a beer. Once they were alone, he leaned over. What? Do you have any idea what that woman wanted to do to you? Claire, she forced a smile and he laughed, leaning back in his chair. She tried to stay mad, but finally the corner of her mouth twitched. Then she smiled, her cheeks turning red. Are you doing okay? Claire took a deep breath and nodded. I have to do this, Finn. I'll be careful. He reached over and squeezed her hand, just a movement. At the back door caught his eye. Oh dear, what kind of movement's happening at the back door? Turning his head. Turning his head.
Very
Turning
sneaky.
his head. He...
I'm sorry. Just makes sure to go. Well, what's going on at the back door?
He stiffened.
It's not that kind of bar, is
He
it?
stiffened, all right. Not bad.
He stiffened when he looked at the back door. Aye, he did. Two men walked in. Not the poachers who had gotten the jump on him, but two others who he'd been searching for. Doing the best to fade into the dim corner they sat in. He looked over at Claire, then nodded toward the men as at the bar. Lord have mercy. My tongue is just a-going a mile a minute here.
Hey, you've switched characters like 3 times now.
I don't know what I'm doing, really.
Remember what I told you, Volstorm?
Uh-huh.
Doesn't matter where the motor gets started.
I love that clip.
Ballstorm's going to be singing all kinds of hymns tonight. Oh, Lord Jesus.
When you hear the choir singing from miles away, you know what happened.
Lord,
Those two are Corbin's men, too. I was looking for them when I stumbled on the other two.
Clara turned her head and saw the two men at the bar. She squeezed his hand harder, then let it go, standing up.
Where are you going?
She leaned down to speak into his ear. There are too many voices in here. I have to move closer so I can distinguish their voices over everyone else's. I'll be fine.
I know the problem.
The waitress was walking toward their table, and Claire picked up her glass off the tray and headed toward the bar. Finn watched her, barely paying attention to the waitress when he handed her some money, then heard her sigh and walk away. She was so disappointed. She was really hoping to get some of his wolf. That's so disappointing. His eyes didn't stray from Claire's as she took a stool at the end of the bar, pulling her beer in front of her and pretending to nurse the drink. She was far too close to the man for his liking, but he didn't know how to telepathy.
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 Tilapia, it's a fish. Why does he know we're talking about fish?
What are they talking about tilapia for?
Tilapia.
Yes.
The shit-eating fish.
Maybe she was right. Maybe she needed to be that close to them in order to hear them. Didn't mean he had
She
to
could
like
enough do a lap dance.
5 minutes stretched into 20, the men nursing their beers, before they finally paid their tab and left the bar. Claire waited a few minutes before she pushed. Oh dear.
Oh no, you've been reading too much of this.
Everything's looking like a dirty word. She pushed that glass.
Tell it.
Pushed her glass away, looking over at him, then stumbled out the front door of the bar. Lord have mercy, I don't know what's going on today.
I'm so surprised. You know, she climbed up there. She pushed the glass, and they were just like, whatever.
Whatever,
There's nothing we've seen before.
Is that like when you put your face up against the glass and you blow?
Look like one of them sucker fish on this fish tank.
Exactly.
Is it just me, or are we all kind of having a hard time reading after that?
Well, after the climax, I got very kerfuffled. Oh my Lord, have mercy.
I'm telling you. Oof, yeah, I think we're just gonna have to. I don't know if we're gonna be able to make it through another chapter. That's
I'd
chapter.
say we're almost at 2 hours, so.
Yeah, we're almost at 2 hours. Whew.
My
Are
goodness.
you okay with that, Yamaha?
Oh, that's fine. I don't care.
Oh, is he just? Did he want to read a little more? Did he want to get into the juicy parts?
I think he did.
Let's see. What do I want to read? I don't know. Doesn't matter
to
to
you,
me. I
brother.
don't care, man.
Yeah, read.
Yeah,
Want me to read?
if you want.
Yeah.
If you want.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. Let's get an idea. What are we doing here? All right.
Oh, you
I'll
missed
go
it
back to the
earlier.
other one that I
didn't
just haven't done.
Diva getting the papers.
I was. I had to go
Oh, you
top
should
the
have seen
salad and
earlier.
everything. For it.
Sorry, you already missed the juicy parts, MJ.
Yeah. Yeah. Claire stumbled out of the bar and hurried around the corner of the building. She heard the door open behind her and Finn calling to her. But she did not stop. She didn't want him to see her getting sick. She can't hold her liquor, but she swallows.
Sitting on the beach, earning 20%.
She barely made it around the corner before she bent over, her stomach heaving, emptying its contents on the ground. Strong arms wrapped around her, and she was pulled back against Finn as he pulled her hair away from her face. What a pussy. She only had a moment to think how sweet it was that he was holding her hair. Well, she got sick before she vomited again.
I love you, Pookie, forever! Oh, you gotta give him that.
Her whole body hurt right then, and it felt as if someone had her head in a vice. The minute she walked outside, the voices had stopped. Sure, because that always happens. But it had all been too much in the bar around so many. How was she going to do this? How was she going to help Finn and everyone she loved if she couldn't take a few minutes of the voices in her head? She was worthless to anyone, and at the moment felt like she couldn't have left her cabin. So, I think I'm done there.
It's fine.
Right.
It's fine.
Well, Mr. Potter.
Mr.
You're an insufferable know-it-all, Miss Granger.
So you could even do Hans Gruber in that voice.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I'd have to go back and listen to it again. It's been. I don't know where the fuck. I don't know where it came from. I just started doing it like the other day, and I'm like, wow, this kind of sort of sounds like it.
No, it does. It does sound like Rickman.
You are
I love it.
spot on.
I was like, that's
So
awesome.
I'm like, wow, maybe I should listen to some of his stuff because this is kind of working out better than the Morgan Freeman, I think.
No, I was expecting you to go full on into Mr. McLean.
Oh, Mr. McLean.
I read about
Yeah,
it.
it's been so long since I watched any of those. I don't. Yeah, I'd have to go back and watch
Oh,
that.
every
yeah.
Christmas, man. We watch Die Hard every
Your
Christmas.
assignment is
Yeah.
to watch Die Hard this week.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 The old poster right back here.
Yeah. I was bummed when he died, man. That was.
Oh,
I know.
seriously.
Yes.
Seriously.
Yeah.
This
I
Rickman
was
played
bummed.
such a good
man.
bad guy.
Oh yeah. I mean, all
So good.
He's had such a great voice for all that.
Flannel
stuff.
Town. Don't do sex when she's vomiting, no matter how good the heaving.
Ew.
God.
Ew.
Well, thank you. You just
Ew.
canceled any ideas I had in my head
Well,
tonight.
there went any shred of,
Good way to bring down the mood. Good job, Puddle Town.
Yes, Teresa
Busted.
Fenn. It is the best Christmas
It is
movie
the best
ever.
Christmas
It's
movie.
the
Yes.
only
Yes.
Christmas movie.
Yes.
Yes.
But
No, it's
the
better
Donkey
than It's a
Punch
Wonderful
is
Life.
better.
I'm just saying, my wife's tradition in her family was to watch like the White Christmas musical like every Christmas, and then I said, "Well, let's try Die Hard. And let's see if you like it." Yeah, ever since then, she's like, "Yeah, Die Hard's better." We're gonna watch
yeah.
Die Hard every Christmas.
Yeah.
Die Hard and Lethal Weapon are
Yes.
required watching
Oh.
in my house
Yes.
for Christmas.
Absolutely.
And Prancer.
And Prancer.
Yes, and Prancer.
And Prancer.
We are going to cut it off right here shortly. Anything you guys want to leave with the crowd?
Well, I can go ahead if anybody else does anything.
Go ahead. Go.
So,
go.
all right. Well, folks, it's been another fun, spicy Sunday. And don't forget to also go ahead and check out all of these jokers above and below. And all these great people. Subscribe to their channels. Like this video. Subscribe to Shizzy. But also come on over to Kaiser Pineapple. I've got your entertainment news that you need to know 5 days a week. Although it's going to be really difficult for me to get a video out tonight. Oh, boy. And anyway,
Yeah.
we're going to have some
I can't
juicy
read.
information coming out, some very interesting things happening.
Ooh.
Possible updates on the Rachel Zegler and Snow White movie, believe it or not.
And you have episode 8 this week.
And the season finale of The Acolyte, Tuesday. And I might have to live that one after the fact.
Yes.
I don't know. I might have to. If somebody wants to join me for that one, I'll gladly throw an invite there.
Do it for the people.
Do it for the people.
But yeah, Yeah, I'm putting myself through that torture, so y'all don't have to.
All right.
And I'm actually dreading that because I'm not sure how they're going to wrap up all the loose plot threads in 20 minutes on
Everybody?
Tuesday. Yeah. Anyway.
Everybody, make sure that you sub to all these fine people here. Go buy Teresa's book, and we will see you next
Wait,
week.
Shizzy?
Thank you
Shizzy.
all.
Well,
Before
yeah,
we
got-
leave,
Yeah.
since we're within 24 hours, can we go ahead and tell them?
Yes. Tell them.
Okay, the derailed stream that will feature myself, Shizzy, the expert, and MG Law as soon as he gets on. This week will actually be featured on Caliber and Character. So you have to subscribe to Caliber and Character to come watch the show. So I'm just giving you a little forewarning and advice. Don't do it to Ballstorm. I don't have any content on my channel. You have to do it to @Caliber and Character. You can find it on YouTube, but you're going to see all of us just on there BSing and having a good time. So be sure you
Caliber
sub up.
Character is in the description down below.
Nice.
So if
Good
you're
job.
looking for it, it's down below because
job.
you'll say Volstorm Diva @Caliber and Character.
Yes.
And we've got Kaiser Pineapple, Welsh Lady, and all the people's links are there, plus Ryder Chick's links are there.
And surprisingly, I actually have something coming up on the 21st. Going to be doing another art stream with Valhalla.
Ooh, that's going to be good. I enjoy watching those.
We're going to switch paintings. He's going to finish mine, and I'm going to finish his. Volstorm approved. He said it's fine.
Yeah, I said it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
He gave permission, so we're gonna paint each other's art, and it's gonna be fun.
So he's gonna basically give you his arm to paint.
Which arm are you referring to? Because that could be awkward.
It could be awkward. And for you, Yamaha, I have a story.
Oh well, I've been working on a unsolved murder mystery type thing, just kind of changing up my genres. Might not be that long of a story. I'm still going through some stuff with Library of Congress and National Archives and all that stuff, and old newspaper clippings, and then I got to kind of wrap that up, and it's kind of something that I've been wanting to do, so kind of mix it up a little bit.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
very nice.
Cool.
Yeah. So when that'll be done, I'm not sure. Hopefully in the next couple of days. But that's the different thing about doing that stuff. And kind of like those Civil War stories that I did. It takes a little more with the research. You know, trying to make sure that you get everything right, or doing it as well as you can at least. So, yeah. So we'll see.
Well, and we thank all of you guys. I did want to come in here and make sure that I gave you guys all the condition here. Are you guys ready? Yes, we were not ready for that, but it didn't take long to get lubed up. These are wrong.
Lord.
Feels like 6.
We hit that early.
Yeah.
I'd like to think if there's one thing I can write, it's this. It was.
Yeah.
And I hope it was worth getting. Yes, it is absolutely worth it. All I'll do is I'll just go in there and I'll give a description to it, and they'll usually turn it back on.
Yeah,
I'm not stressing it. I'm usually pretty good with that kind of stuff. Usually, and make sure that you're hooked up to this one right here. The derailed stream is going to be at Caliber and Character tomorrow at 9:30. Yes.
Yeah, 9:30.
Nice.
Oh. Well, thanks again, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks,
Thank you. It was fun.
Thanks, Chad. Thanks, Yamaha. Thanks, Kaiser. Thanks,
and thanks to the chat. Thank you again for watching.
Oh,
this
y'all
and
been
listening to
wonderful
us
as
act like
always.
idiots.
Love you.
No.
Always.
Love you guys.
Hail
Yeah.
Chad.
Peace.
Bye.
So gather round, let the stories begin. In the realm of Sunday spice, where joy always wins, with Shizzywhiznut leading the way. We'll laugh and we'll smile through night and day. Sunday spice, the show of delight, written by AI and all the voices that ignite. From dictionary deep to Kaiser Pineapple.